So friends, our today's lecture on a CMOS inverter. So subject name, it is a VLSI design, and our today's topic is first lecture of CMOS inverter. CMOS inverter, right? It is a first lecture. Now before starting the CMOS inverter, let me discuss why we require a CMOS inverter. Then we'll go in a detail about the CMOS inverter. So whatever the inverter we have discussed right now, till now, let me see one by one very quickly, right? So first of all, the any inverter, it's have a one pull-up device, pull-up device, pull-up logic, or a pull-up device, right? And as a driver MOSFET, it is NMOS enhancement type. As a driver MOSFET is NMOS enhancement type. An input at a gate terminal of driver MOSFET and output in between the pull-up device and the drain terminal of driver MOSFET. So this is drain terminal, gate terminal, source terminal, bulk terminal of driver. And output node, it forms some capacitance between the ground and output. This is called a load capacitor. This is called a load capacitor, output node capacitor. And whatever the voltage across the load capacitor, it is called a output voltage, right? So through the pull-up device, it will pull up the output. So pull-up device, it is responsible to increase the output, and the driver device is pull down the output. Driver device, it is a pull down the output, right? So let's say when our input it is a logic 0, then the driver MOSFET operate in a cutoff region, and out it is a pull up, means the load capacitor it is charged through the pull up device. So here I have a pull up logic or a pull up device, and driver MOSFET operate in a cutoff region. So our output voltage will increase, means the voltage across capacitor will increase through this pull up device. So we can say the load capacitor is connected to VDD through this pull up device, and it is a charge the load capacitor. That's why it is called a pull up device. And when logic input is logic 1, input is logic 1, then we can say the output it is pulled down through the driver MOSFET. So here you have a pull up device, and the driver MOSFET operate in a linear or cutoff region when input is logic 1. So whatever the voltage across capacitor, it is a discharge to the load through the driver MOSFET, right? So the driver MOSFET it is a pull down the output, and the pull up device which is between the VDD and output, it is a pull up the output. So as a pull up the output, right? And as a pull up, we have taken a different device till now. So first of all, we have taken as a pull up as a register as a pull up device. pull-up device. And if we take a resistor as a pull-up device, this topology, it is called a resistive load inverter. Resistive load inverter. So when we take a resistor as a pull-up device, then this topology, it is called a resistive load inverter. So if you see the circuit as a pull-up, it is a simple a load passive resistance, and as a driver, it is NMOS enhancement type MOSFET. NMOS enhancement type MOSFET. So it is pull up the output to the resistance and pull down the load capacitor voltage to the driver MOSFET. So it is pull up to the resistor. Output voltage across capacitor or the load capacitor is charged to the load resistor. So we have analyzed this circuit in a detail in the last lectures, right? And we have concluded, if you see it's a VTC curve of this resistive load inverter, right? So whenever it is the input is logic 0, we'll get the output is maximum and it is a VDD. And when the input is logic 1, it will get the output is not goes to 0, but it has minimum output voltage, it is a VOL. So in this resistive load inverter, we can say it have a weak zero out, weak zero out, weak zero out. Weak zero output means output in a logic 0, it is not a 0 voltage. So output logic 0, it's have a some voltage P while which is a greater than 0. So logic 0 output, logic 0 output, it is V while which is greater than 0. So it is called a weak 0 out or weak logic 0 out, right? If you'll get output is a 0 voltage, then we can say it is a strong logic 0 out. So I hope you understand the difference between a weak logic 0 output and the strong 0 output. So resistive load inverter, it's have a weak logic 0 output, right? So it is one of the disadvantage of a resistive load inverter. Another, if you see, it's have a weak 0 output and strong logic 1 output. It's have a strong logic 1 output. It's have a weak logic 0 output, but it's have a strong logic 1 output. Now let me with more things about the resistive load inverter is it is have a ratioed logic. It is a ratioed logic. Ratioed logic means here the design here the specification parameter, it is how much minimum output can we achieve. It is a specification parameter of a resistive load inverter, right? So VOL is a specification parameter of a resistive load inverter. The problem statement is given in a form of design a resistive load inverter that should have the VOL is 0.2 or like that. So VOL is a specification parameter, and to achieve the VOL, it is VOL, it is proportional to the transconductance ratio. It is proportional to the 1 upon transconductance ratio, right? So to improve the means improvement of VOL means we want to reduce the VOL voltage. That is its improvement, because logic 0 output it should go toward the strong 0. So if you want to make from the weak 0 output to the strong 0, we required a larger transconductance ratio that will make the VOL tends to 0, or it will decrease the VOL value. So the specification parameter here, it is depend on the transconductance ratio. So what is the transconductance ratio or the transconductance? So here the transconductance is it is depend on the RL, and it is depend on the W upon L of the driver MOSFET. Right? So it is called a ratioed logic, or it's have a the well, it depend on the transconductance. We can also ratioed, but its VOL value is depend on the transconductance. Right? Specification parameter is depend on the trans. So here the pull-up device is a simple resistive load inverter. So we cannot say it is ratioed, but we can say the specification parameter is depend on the transconductance value, or the RL into transconductor. It depend on the RL into trans, right? So these are, and fourth point about the resistive load inverter, it's have a static power dissipation. It's have a static power. It's have a static power dissipation. Fifth point about the resistive load inverter, it's have a it's required larger silicon area for to fabricate the RL, load resistance passive device. So first topology we have taken and we have analyzed in detail, and we have concluded a resistive load inverter have a weak 0 output and weak 0 output and strong 1 output, and its specification parameter, it depends on the transconductance into the load resistance value, and it's have a static power dissipation, and larger it required the larger silicon area to fabricate the passive load resistance. So this is about the some summary of a resistive load inverter. Then next inverter we have taken, it is that we use as a pull-up device, that we use another enhancement MOSFET. So it is called a enhancement MOSFET as pull-up device. Enhancement MOSFET as a pull-up device. So here if you see the circuit, it's have a enhancement MOSFET as a pull-up device. So if you connect the gate and drain terminal of load MOSFET, then this load MOSFET operate in a conducting state, and the driver MOSFET gate terminal is connected at input, and the source and bulb terminal of driver MOSFET is connected at ground, and the source terminal of load and the gate drain terminal of driver MOSFET, it is connected at output, and output node and ground have a load capacitor. So now this load capacitor, it is charged to the enhancement MOSFET, and it is a discharge to the driver MOSFET. So this topology also we have a detail we have discussed about it, and this topology it is called as saturated, because load MOSFET operate in a saturation region. It is called as saturated enhancement load inverter. Saturated enhancement load inverter, right? So if you see it's a VTC curve, If we see its VTC curve, so to make the conduct, the load, the VGS voltage of the load must greater than equal to the threshold voltage of the load, right? So output voltage, it can goes up to the, so it is a zero voltage, it is a V while, but its output voltage it goes up to the VDD minus a one threshold of the load. So maximum output voltage it goes VDD minus one threshold voltage load. So here have a VDD voltage, but the maximum output voltage it is VDD minus one threshold voltage load. And if you see about the minimum output voltage, so minimum output voltage will get the V while it is also a greater than the zero voltage. So in this enhancement pull-up device, if we see the some points about it, so here we can see it's have a weak zero output because output is not a zero voltage, it is a greater than the zero, so it's have a weak logic zero out. So this is one of the disadvantage of saturated enhancement load inverter. Another, if you see, it's also have a weak, so weak logic 1 out because logic 1 output is goes up to the VDD minus VT. So it not have a VDD voltage. So it's also have a weak logic 1 out. So in a enhancement pull-up device, it's have a weak logic 0 output as well as weak logic 1 out. Now this device V while value of this device, it is proportional to the transconductance ratio, right? It is proportional to the transconductance ratio. So to achieve the particular value of V while, we have to set the ratio, transconductance ratio. So it is called a ratioed logic. It is called a ratioed logic or the ratio circuit or the ratioed logic, right? Fourth things about this saturated enhancement load inverter, your load is always operate in a conducting stage. So whenever input is logic 1, so driver is also operate in a conducting stage. So we need to get some low resistive path to the ground. So it continuously dissipate the power. So it's have a static power dissipation. Static power, right? So these are the points about the saturated enhancement load as an inverter, or we can say the enhancement MOSFET to take as a pull-up device, right? Let me take, instead of enhancement, let me take a depletion load as a pull-up device. So third topology is depletion MOSFET as a pull-up device. As a pull-up device. So this topology we are calling as a depletion load inverter. Depletion load inverter. Depletion load inverter. So here we see in a depletion load inverter. Let me quickly do the analysis of a we'll find the points about the depletion load inverter. So here load device, it is a depletion inverter. This is our load, and the driver device is a, so we in here have a V out and the output across. So this load capacitor is charged to the pull-up device when input is logic 0. So when input is logic 0, driver is operate in a cutoff and the load MOSFET operate in a conducting. So the load capacitor is charged through the VDD to the load MOSFET, right? And when the input is logic 1, the whatever the charge of load MOSFET, it is discharged to the driver MOSFET, right? So driver MOSFET work as a pull down device and the load MOSFET work as a pull up. So if you see it's a VT curve, V input versus V out. So it can produce the output is a maximum up to the VDD. It can goes up to the VDD, right? So when input is logic 0, output can goes up to the VDD, but about the logic 0 output, it is can go up to the VOL. It cannot goes to the 0 voltage. Why it not goes into the 0 voltage? Because when input is a logic 1, then both the MOSFET operate in a conducting. So here the load is also in a conducting, so it can be replaced with a non-linear resistor. And driver MOSFET is also in a conducting, it can replace as another non-linear resistance. And whatever the voltage across the load, that is here suppose output voltage, it cannot goes up to the 0. So here VDD, that the output voltage is the voltage division. So depending on the ratio of the load MOSFET W upon L and the driver MOSFET W upon L, it form the two different resistance value, and that two different resistance value will decide load and driver. It will decide what should be the V out value. So it never goes up to the 0. It goes to 0 only and only when if we keep the RL is equal to infinite and RL and driver MOSFET resistance it tends to 0, then we can say that our V out is equal to 0. Or the driver MOSFET value is small, then also it will make the V out is tends to be a 0 volt, right? Then we can say the capacitor is totally discharged. Here, if the load is not is equal to infinite, then the capacitor, load capacitor is never discharged to 0. It is charged through this driver MOSFET and discharged to the load. So this output voltage never goes into the 0 voltage. So it's have some VOL value which is greater than the 0. So here we can say the VOL value depend on it it depend on transconductance ratio. It depends on the W upon L of load and the W upon L of driver. So it depends on the transconductance ratio. That's why this circuit it is called a ratioed circuit, ratioed logic or ratioed circuit. Right. So this is one of the disadvantage to set the VOL value. That VOL value depend on the ratio of the load and the driver. Second thing here we can see it produce the weak 0 out, weak logic 0 out, logic 0 out, right? And the third things about the depletion load inverter, it's have a static power dissipation. It also have a static power, static power dissipation. So these are the three things about the depletion load inverter, right? Now let me move further. So up to the last lecture, we have taken three topology: resistive, and depletion loading. Now let me use instead of depletion MOSFET, let me use a, a PMOS as a pull-up device. Let me use instead of NMOS as a driver. So let me use its complement MOSFET as a pull-up. So let me use a PMOS as a pull-up device. So if you use a PMOS as a pull-up device, let's see VDD. So before using the PMOS as a MOSFET device, let me tell you about the PMOS, because we are using the first time PMOS. Maybe you have studied in a third chapter, but let me revise something about the PMOS, which are some concept which we require, right? So in a PMOS, we see the port terminal of symbol of PMOS. Then at the substrate terminal, it is arrow is outside, and source, uh, bulb, drain, and the gate terminal. Normally, draw source is an upward side for the PMOS. The we'll see detail about it, the drain and the gate terminal, right? So now the current, that is this drain current. So drain current here, it's also a function of this gate to source voltage, is a gate to source voltage. Here have a bulk source to bulk voltage ESP, and here have a uh, drain to source. So in a PMOS also, drain current, it is a function of gate to source voltage, drain to source voltage, and source to bulk voltage, right? Now about its operating region, and the ID current value. Operating region. So PMOS is operate in a either of three in operating region. So whenever the gate source voltage of the PMOS, here we are talking about PMOS. So every parameter is for the PMOS, right? So whenever the gate to source voltage of the PMOS, if it's a greater than the threshold value of the PMOS, then it is operating in cutoff. So it is a reverse condition compared to the NMOS device. So in a PMOS, whenever gate to source voltage, if it's greater than the threshold, then it's operate in a cutoff. And in cutoff, ID current is zero. In cutoff, ID current of PMOS is zero. Now, whenever the gate to source voltage of the PMOS is less than equal to threshold of the PMOS. So let me tell you, the threshold of the PMOS is negative value. For enhancement PMOS inverter, threshold of the PMOS, it is a negative value. So threshold VT of PMOS, it is a negative value. And for the NMOS enhancement type, threshold is a positive value. So here the threshold is a negative value. So whenever the VGS is less than equal to VT, it's either operate in a linear region or a saturation region. So condition for the linear and saturation region is when it's operate in a linear and when it's operate in saturation. So whenever the VGS minus VT, if it's less than the VDS, right, then it is operate in a linear region. Then it's operate in a linear region, right? And whenever the VGS minus VT, if it's greater than the VDS, then it's operate in a saturation region. Saturation. Right? So here the ID current is ID linear current. Here the ID current is ID saturation current. And ID linear and saturation current equation is same as the NMOS enhancement type inverter. So ID linear current is defined as transconductance of PMOS is Kp by 2 into 2 times of VGS of P MOSFET minus threshold of P MOSFET into VDS of P MOSFET minus VDS of P MOSFET no square. and ID saturation current is defined as transconductance of P MOSFET by 2 into VGS of P MOSFET minus VQ of P MOSFET. So this is something about the whatever we required the that I have defined here about the P, right? And the transconductance of P MOSFET Kp, it is equal to mu n. So here is the mu p. So mu p, it is the mobility of hole into the COX into the W upon L of MOSFET. So transconductance of P MOSFET, it depends on the mobility of hole, because in a P MOSFET channel is formed due to the hole. So whatever the mobility of a hole charge carrier, it will affect the ID current, right? So this is about the P MOSFET. Now let's see our fourth topology. It is a PMOS as a pull-up device in an inverter. Let we use a PMOS as a pull-up device. So VDD here as a pull-up device is PMOS. So PMOSFET three terminal symbol, another symbol of PMOSFET, it's have a bubble. So this is three terminal symbol of a PMOS. Right? So this is the gate terminal, source. Here it is a source terminal. Here it is a bulk terminal is connected to source. Here it is a gate terminal. This is source terminal, and here have a drain terminal. Okay? And let me keep the gate terminal connected to ground. So when gate terminal connected to ground, here have a gate terminal of driver MOSFET. It's connected to V in, and source and bulk terminal of driver MOSFET connected to ground. So this is three terminal device symbol of N MOSFET. This is three terminal device symbol of P MOSFET. So whenever we draw the three terminal symbol, at that time source and bulk is source. So here the P MOSFET is work as a load. This is our load is a PMOS, and driver is NMOS enhancement, right? So our gate terminal of P MOSFET is connected to ground. So what is the VGS voltage of P MOSFET? Source is connected to VDD and gate is connected to ground. So VGS voltage of this P MOSFET, it is equal to minus VDD, 0 minus VDD. So VGS of P MOSFET, it is a minus VDD. Now minus VDD, it is a always less than the threshold, because threshold of P MOSFET is near about minus 1 volt. So this is the less than the threshold of the P MOSFET, right? So this condition is satisfied. That means P MOSFET is always operate in a linear or a saturation region. Linear or a saturation region, right? So it is always conducting, and it is work as a pull-up device. It is pull up the output logic. Pull up the output logic. And the driver MOSFET work as a down device. Now about let's we draw its what is the maximum output it can produce and what is the minimum output it can have. V in and here it is out. So when the input is let's say logic 0, when input is logic 0, we can say the P MOSFET, it is conducting and it is a non-linear resistance at say RP value, and the driver MOSFET operate in cutoff, so it's have a infinite resistance in a cutoff region. So what is the value of load resistance here? It can charge maximum value, how much voltage it can charge. So it can charge up to the VDD. The output voltage goes up to the VDD, right? So maximum output voltage will get, it is a VDD. And let's say about the minimum output voltage. So whenever the input is logic 1, at that time the load MOSFET is still operate in a conducting stage, so it is have some RP resistance depending on the W upon L ratio. And driver MOSFET is also operating in a conducting stage, so it's have a, let's say, Rn resistance produced. So what the output load capacitance value? So if it's a charge, then it's slightly discharged through the Rn, but it cannot discharge up to the 0 volt. So it produced output is V while, which is greater than the 0. Produced output V while, which is greater than 0, because this VDD divide, it is a potential divide between the Rn and Rp, right? Because both the MOSFET operating in a conducting state, so it will not take the voltage across capacitor to the 0 voltage. So if you see, we'll get a strong one output, but it's have a weak 0 output. It produce a strong one output and a weak 0. So first point about this PMOS as a pull-up device have a weak logic 0 out, because V while is not tends to 0. So it is a weak logic 0 out. Second point, if you see, so whenever input is logic 1, both the MOSFET driver as well as the load both operate in a conducting stage, so it dissipates the power. So we did get a low resistive path to the ground, so it dissipate the power, so it's have a static power static power, right? So this about the fourth topology, which is a PMOS as a pull-up device. PMOS as a pull-up device. Okay. Let me take one more topology, and in that case, instead of giving in the fourth topology, we have a connected the gate terminal of PMOS as a ground. Instead of that, let me connect with the input. And this topology, it is called as CMOS inverter. So in a CMOS inverter, pull-up device, it is a PMOS, but the gate terminal of PMOS is not connected to ground. Instead of that, connect with the, so here also and the driver MOSFET gate terminal also connected with input. So instead of connecting the ground, the PMOS gate terminal, it is connected at input. And drain terminal of PMOS and the drain terminal of NMOS, it is connected at output. And the bulk terminal of NMOS and the source terminal of NMOS, it connect with the ground, and the source terminal of PMOS and the bulk terminal of PMOS connected at VDD. So let me use the 4-terminal device symbol. It will give you more detailed about the circuit, where to connect which terminal, right? So this circuit, it is called, and this load capacitor is between the output node and ground. So through the P MOSFET, it is pull up the output, and through the N MOSFET is pull down the output. What we have changed in a PMOS as a pull-up device, we have just changed, instead of connecting the gate to ground, the gate terminal of PMOS connected at the V in. By changing this, let me see what is the beauty of this circuit, what advantage will get, right? So let me how it run, and what the transfer characteristics will get. So here we can see when our input is logic 0. Let's check what happened when input is logic 0. So when input is logic 0 means here it is a 0 volt, right? So NMOS VGS of NMOS is less than threshold, so NMOS operate in a cutoff. NMOS operate in a cutoff. What about the PMOS? So PMOS, gate terminal of PMOS is ground and the source terminal of PMOS is connected to VDD. So VGS of PMOS, it is minus VDD and it is less than equal to threshold of PMOS. That means PMOS operate in a linear or saturation region or operate in a conducting stage. Operate in a conducting region. So PMOS operate in a conducting stage. So if we see the equivalent circuit, so VDD, so PMOS produce a non-linear resistance depending on the W upon L ratio of the PMOS, it operate in a conducting stage, and NMOS operate in a cutoff, so it is equivalent circuit is open circuit, and here the output voltage, it's connected with the load capacitor. So load capacitor is pull up to this PMOS, and what the maximum output voltage will get. So according the potential divider, here the resistance is infinite. So all the VDD voltage drop across the driver MOSFET, load resistance is. So it pull up the output up to the VDD. It pull up the output up to the VDD. Right? Let me see about the second conditions. When input is logic 1, let's input is logic 1. So logic 1 means input is 5 volt. VDD. Input is VDD. Right? So when input is VDD, the NMOS, it is operate in a conducting because NMOS, VGS of NMOS is input and input is VDD, so VGS of NMOS is VDD. So we can say the VGS of NMOS is VDD, so NMOS operate in a conducting stage. It will make operate NMOS in a linear or saturation, means in a conducting stage, conducting region. What about the PMOS? So in a PMOS, gate terminal of PMOS is connected to VDD, right? And source terminal is also connected to VDD. So VGS of PMOSFET is 0. It is 0. And 0 is greater than the threshold of the PMOSFET because the threshold of PMOSFET is negative. So 0 is greater than the threshold of PMOSFET. That means the VGS of P greater than the threshold. That means VGS of P greater than the threshold. That means the PMOSFET operate in a cutoff. P MOSFET operate in a cutoff. So when P MOSFET operate in a cutoff, you see its equivalent circuit. So we did P MOSFET in a cutoff, so it is open circuit, and N MOSFET have some non-linear resistance in the ground. So in this circuit, we can say the output voltage is totally discharged to the N MOSFET. It can be up to the zero voltage. It will make the load capacitor up to the zero voltage because load is not connected to any source. So this load capacitor, if we connect in this topology for some time or more than its charging time, discharging time, then it take the output of load voltage to the zero voltage, right? So if you see here, we'll get the strong zero out, strong logic zero out, and it is due to the we have a pull-up device have a operating in a cutoff. In all the previous topology, pull-up device never it goes into the cutoff, but in a CMOS inverter, pull-up device is goes into the cutoff when input is logic zero, logic, and it will make the output is tends to zero. So it will make the V wall it tends to zero. So V wall in CMOS inverter is zero, and it produces the strong zero output. And in this, when input is logic 0, it produces the output is VDD. That means it is a strong one output, strong logic 1 output. So this is one of the advantage of CMOS inverter, which have the strong logic 1 output and strong logic 0 input, right? So this is the beauty of a CMOS inverter. Now let's see another advantage of CMOS inverter and its characteristics. When a CMOS inverter, CMOS and CMOS, here it is an output and here is an, right. So here we can say there is no static power dissipation. Why? So whenever input is logic 0, equivalent circuit is PMOS operating in a conducting but NMOS operating in a cutoff. So there is no current. Current tends to 0. So there is no power dissipation when input is equal to logic 0. Similarly, when input is equal to logic 1, PMOS goes into the cutoff and NMOSFET operate in a conducting stage. In that case also VDD not get the low resistive path to the ground, so its ID current is 0. So in this case also the power dissipation. So another advantage of CMOS inverter is no static power dissipation. No static power dissipation. So I have a two greatest advantage of CMOS inverter. One is the no static power dissipation. Another is a V value tends to 0 means strong logic 0 out. Strong logic 0 output and no static power dissipation. Okay. So this is CMOS inverter. We can say it's ideal inverter topology to implementation of any digital logic. Is clear?